rounding out our Friday interviews here and starting things off on the pregame show with Kevin Schmidt. It's the Iowa Heartlanders taking on the Wichita Thunder. And Kevin, a very emotional game for a lot of standpoints in the Tuesday win. There was a lot that went into that. It was really not a typical morning game, it felt like. The kids saw some things that they can't replicate in school with some of the fights, and Iowa ended up scoring the first 4 goals and winning 5-3. So from your standpoint, what went well? And take us back through what was a pretty interesting Tuesday game.
I mean, yeah, all in all, it was a great game for us. I mean, obviously we started really strong, and up until the point where we kind of took that major penalty, being shorthanded for four minutes. We were a really, really good hockey team. Unfortunately, we fell victim to that, to their power play and gave up 2 and kind of let them back in the game. And then just for a moment there, we kind of lost our game and lost our structure. Naturally, we're back on our heels a bit. They make it 4-3, but again, we kind of, regrouped. We stayed really disciplined and confident going into the third. And again, I thought the third period was a really great effort. And we felt like we kind of took the game to them. So we finished really strong.
And against one of the best teams in the league over the last few years, they have a lot of talent as well. Take us through the locker room between the second and the third period. All of a sudden, it seems like, a bomb had just been dropped with 3 goals in a row, which that's going to happen to teams. It's happened for the Heartlanders. They've scored 3 on 3 straight shots just the game before, and finding a way to regroup in the locker room. What do you remember about what was said? Did you say anything? Did you hear any of the guys talking about it? And just kind of take us inside there for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, a good question. What was the message? What was the feeling? We just didn't want to be in a position where we kind of felt sorry for us. We thought the 4-minute penalty against was, a questionable call at best. But the reality is, it is what it is. And we can't feel sorry for us. We don't have that time and we don't have that privilege. So it's time to kind of get back to work. And the message was, essentially that don't feel sorry for us. Don't feel sorry for yourself and be a confident group. We've been in that situation before. We've had recent success there. So it's just about, getting back to our game plan, being disciplined, and also remaining confident. We'd been a better team through 40 minutes all in all. So it's just about, having belief in one each other and believing that you're going to get the job done.
In some ways, the beginning of the third period against Bloomington last Saturday, when, remember, Bloomington, they'd scored 2 in a row, it was 4-0, then two in a row over a longer span. And then on Tuesday, it's 4-0, then it's 4-3. And I feel like in the classic sort of cliches, in the first 5 minutes of the period, you can kind of tell. There were like numerous moments on Tuesday and then even on Saturday where you can kind of just tell whether a team's flip the script or things just start to go right for them again. Do you think there's any sort of like credence, truth to that maybe it's not the first 5 minutes, but you can kind of tell at the start of a period, like when a team's kind of taken a few hits, whether or not they're standing back up and ready to reverse the flow of the game?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair to say. And, what I can say is that, we've hoped to put that behind us and kind of learn from, not our mistakes, but just, kind of learn from the experience, in the previous games before. But certainly, I mean, the way you respond the first 5 minutes, they're going to push hard. So it's extra, being extra diligent to match that intensity and match that, what we call discipline. And what we mean by that is just staying, disciplined within our game plan and doing the things that we need to do to be successful. And that's just, being hard on the team, eliminating our turnovers, make sure we're getting pucks out and get pucks in, because when we do that, we're an extremely, effective hockey team. So, I think in both those examples last, Saturday and Tuesday, we started off those first 5 minutes really simple, really hard, and then we just gained so much momentum through that. We ended up, playing a lot of offense, creating a lot of opportunities, and obviously we're keeping them out of our D zone and limiting, chances against. So it's kind of a, a game of momentum. So.
Last one I got for you. I've asked you about Luca Hano a few times. Young guy, as we pointed out, third-year pro now, second year with the Heartlanders, scores again. And what kind of strikes me is that there's the old basketball player mentality. Oh, if he sees one go in, all of a sudden the well can kind of open, and both have really, there's the 2 that he scored. There's also the one that got deflected twice. and went into the back of the net. So it's really like 3, almost 4 of them over just the last few weeks. So take us back. I want to ask from your playing perspective, if there had been a handful of games as a defenseman where maybe one hadn't snuck through and then all of a sudden you see it go in, can that kind of change your perspective and mean the world to you for a couple weeks?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, so much of this game is playing with confidence. And once you have a few, successful reps like Luca's having on the power play, it tends to, you could kind of tend to replicate that feeling. You build confidence on that. You gain experience. So, I think that's kind of what's happened to Luca is, he's gaining experience, in real time, albeit. And now he's finding success and, trying to replicate and obviously get better. But, certainly, from past experience, players and myself, you have a tendency to kind of score in bunches as you sort of speak. Right now Luca's kind of doing that, so we hope it continues.
Yeah, quarterbacking that first power play too. Kevin, thanks again. Appreciate you quarterbacking our interview.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, David.